Jai Hind and welcome to Dev Talks. This is Aadi. As promised, we're back for a live to discuss a very interesting subject. There is a leadership change, a leadership brew, a leadership, whole lot of things with the leadership with our two neighbors, Pakistan and China. As you can see, I have with me Lieutenant General Ravi Shankar. So, a weird topic. We are trying to derive onto something. I really can't put the cat out of the bag right now because it's going to give out what we want to do. But let's see where this subject goes.
Look, let's be very frank. First and foremost, good evening. Till about 5 minutes back, I didn't know whether I'm going to come here or not because we had a blackout in our area. There was a feeder which got burnt. Luckily, we just came 2 minutes back. Anyway, having said that, we are better off than Pakistan and China at this point of time. In terms of electricity, at least, you know, large parts of China without electricity. Pakistan though is permanently without electricity. In our case, 1 hour back, the electricity went out. To my great surprise, I got a SMS to say that in 1 hour you'll get your electricity back, and it came. It came in 56 minutes. So there's a lot of optimism in India, I suppose.
Ye
Yeah,
baat sahi.
honest. Honest.
So before I begin with this, I'd like to just put a few things in perspective, if you allow me. One is that if you let's look at our western neighbor, we've got Pakistan, where Imran Khan is pretty much clamoring to get back into shape. Of course, he's taken a few hits down the line, which have been discussed quite deeply. But it's not that the current, supposition or the current people in power are able to actually hold the show together. Uh, it's anybody's game right now. And China again, we've had the Veda here finishing. I actually tweeted about that. It got some traction as well. But we've got the Prime Minister or the Premier Li Keqiang going one direction and Xi Jinping going the other direction,
Yeah.
and quite a few things.
Yeah, I was just in a webinar uh, with the CASA Forum, and that was a heavy subject. We were looking at the Taiwan and PLA and China in a big manner. There was this professor from Taiwan who had some comments on the bidahe. He says, "Look, normally this bidahe lasts 10 to 12 days. This time it got over in 6 days." And I said, "What's the significance of Xi Jinping going north, Liaoning, and this fellow going south to Shenzhen?" So he says, "Look, this chap has gone to where Deng Xiaoping, thing, and he's talking of Deng Xiaoping and getting back to that era. Xi Jinping has gone there. That's where Mao started his long march.
Hmm.
So both these chaps have gone on the opposite ends, preaching opposite things, right? So, but then the fact that they have finished in 6 days is very conclusive. So the either Xi Jinping is in or out. I mean, as simple as that. There's no halfway through. There's not much thinking done, right? But the way I look at it, I think get back.
Hmm.
Okay, he'll get back. I don't think at this point of time they can afford to take him off. One. Number two, I have a feeling that he's going to shuffle. He's already got the CMC in his hand, and after the Politburo, it's the CMC. In the past 8 years, most of the guys who are in the Politburo are also his chamchas. So virtually, he's got the Politburo and the CMC. Both are, what shall I say, the sources of power. And so I don't think there's any doubt about Xi Jinping coming back. So that's China for you. Pakistan is a different kettle of fish. Anyway, the game is completely open. Okay, uh, the game is completely open because the Pakistan army itself is open. We don't know who's going to become the chief. That's the first thing. The second thing in Pakistan is that, mm, say maybe about 10, 15 days back, I would have said Imran Khan will take a walk. But the funding case for his party has given an opening for him to be sidelined. And yesterday, interestingly, in one of his meetings, jalsas, which he calls it jalsas, he's spoken of neutrals again. He had stopped speaking of neutrals. Come back to speaking of neutrals, and virtually it appears that going. He's told the courts also. He's told this thing that you guys have, illegally taken me out, and if you stand by, you'll see Pakistan going down. So he's pressurizing both of them to get, and on the other hand, the government has the backing of the army completely today. Today,
Hmm.
okay. So who's the last man standing there is a question mark, and it doesn't appear as if Imran Khan is pushing for elections immediately. Because if he pushes for elections, his party might be sidelined because of that
Sideline. Hmm.
funding issue. Already they've put his henchmen behind bars.
Yeah.
So that is a open-ended question. Okay, but Pakistan, the way things have panned out, mm, it doesn't matter who comes to the top. I mean, till yesterday, I would have, I went along with this. Let's see who's the leader and all that. But now it doesn't matter.
It's gone beyond that line.
It's gone beyond that line. Uh, Bajwa can go and take a review of Sandhurst from my side. He can go to North Pole also, right? And he can keep sending plane loads of ammunition to Ukraine. But
And let's not get into that.
no, I'm saying they can do anything they want, but their internal thing is absolutely going bonkers. I think they've hit inflation something like 48% or something like that. That's what I
Yes.
saw somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, and
So
with
let's
yeah,
sorry.
okay, you go ahead,
Let's
go ahead.
let's. I want to ask you one question. What is common between these two countries today? Uh,
See, the common between these two countries, whichever leadership comes in both these countries, it's advantage India. That's the common thing.
Now let's break that down a little bit, sir.
Okay,
I mean,
okay. So where do you want me to start?
let's begin with Pakistan. What has been
Okay,
happening? And guys, before Dinesh Shankar, comes out with the whole bang, let's start getting you guys also involved. Please send in your questions. Please send in your comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe. You can also, support Dev Talks with the options given below, the UPI, the thanks, or you can just become a member. So please start with your questions and stuff like that. Sir, over to you. Now, this is where we actually delve into the subject.
okay. First and foremost, let me confess. I have no inside information. I have no great insights. I am just taking a shot in the dark. And I could be as wrong as anyone else, or I could be as right as anyone else, but we'll analyze it. The more
Hmm.
important thing is it doesn't matter what the outcome is, we should analyze what will be the effect on that outcome. Okay. And then we take a call as to who will this thing. Okay, let's look at Pakistan. Where is Pakistan economically? That's the first step. Economically, it's still there, right down below.
Mhm.
Because of the IMF infusion of money, their rupee has fallen to 214 or 15 rupees per dollar. But their inflation has gone up.
Gone up.
Okay, yeah, gone up. Other parameters are just going down. The joblessness, this, that, and all that. Okay, the number of people, security people getting knocked off are gone up. They have not come to any terms with the TTP. They, the elections are not on the cards. Uh, there is the electorate also is giving a double signal. So we don't know who's going to come on top. We don't know whether army and the Shahbaz Sherif and company will allow Imran Khan to come up. Okay. Between the two, let's say Imran Khan comes. If Imran Khan comes, he'll destroy Pakistan's economy. Let's not have any doubts. For the simple reason, where Pakistan economy is today is because of Imran Khan. So how will he make it better? Okay, he's already talking of Mengai, nahi, ye, wo, so subsidies will come back, and for all you know, that IMF might withdraw
Oh,
there.
hmm.
Okay, if today elections is held and all that, so that is the first thing. So they can't. Uh, the second thing, of course, like I said earlier, also, Afghanistan is a millstone around Pakistan's neck. If they're not getting aid from elsewhere, all money, everything, I mean, goes from Pakistan in this
The
through the
black market is
smuggling
very
route, black
correct.
market. So if you are looking at black market, then what's happening? Pakistan is paying for dollars, and the same thing is getting converted into black market in rupee and going into Afghanistan. So there's no, and so Pakistan is paying for Afghanistan. So their balance of payments is going down and down and down. Okay, and they're not getting any value out of Afghanistan because of the Afghanis and the Taliban have virtually turned against Pakistan, and that's why they're allowing the Indian High Commission to reopen again.
Hmm.
I mean, you have to take all these
Things.
peripherals into view. Okay,
Hmm.
so the love story with Taliban is out. Okay, and Taliban is supporting TTP. Taliban is supporting that ETIM in China.
China.
So there is a problem on that front completely. The economy is gone down. TTP is rampantly going where it wants. The CPEC is down. Pakistan's economy will not go anywhere. If Imran Khan comes as the leader, it will not go. It will go down even further. With this lot as in the chair, it is as it is going down. It's not coming up. Okay, unless of course uh, Saudis and all these guys bail them out. China will not bail them out. That's very clear. Okay, so where does it leave Pakistan? Nowhere.
Big question, sir.
And these chaps are trying all kinds of stunts to get on the right side of USA.
USA.
USA has given them $1 million. Very pittance compared to what actually Pakistan needs. It is like giving a beggar a bloody 10 naya paisa coin in these days. Once upon a time, giving 10 naya paisa was great to a beggar on the roadside, but not now. Not $1 million like that. I mean, it is finished. So where does it leave them?
So whatever they do, they're in a sinking hole right now. It's,
Yeah,
it's
they're in a very tight place.
sir.
So that's how Pakistan is. So
Let's switch now.
we'll be in a better place with Pakistan if Imran Khan comes. Between the two, I prefer Imran Khan to be in Pakistan.
But in Pakistan, sir, there is also another thing. Currently, with the guys who are in power, you've got two of the most opposing parties trying to sit together, and
See,
we
they
also
will.
see,
What you're saying is right. They'll pull along together because they have no other choice.
but we do see differences coming out. With
All
regards to
that will
some.
come, but they'll not break. The army will not let them break. The alternate to break up is elections. Elections, it means all bets are off. Firstly, the chief won't be appointed. So whatever happens will happen only after November in Pakistan. The
So
new chief
India's
will have to. So I think we have a lot of space. You see, uh, I saw a clip which is in WhatsApp or wherever that there are problems in POK.
well,
In POK, there is problems. They
quite a
don't
bit.
like. They're saying to hell with Pakistan type. So when the rest of Pakistan doesn't have food to it, how will Jammu and POK have anything? And there are also problems in Gilgit Baltistan. I understand there are almost daily problems in Gilgit Baltistan where they constructing this Dayamar Basha Dam and all that.
Hmm.
So there are issues, right? Uh, So whichever way, Pakistan has to look internally for the next 3 4 years. A good Pakistan is what it is today for us. A better Pakistan will be if Imran Khan comes into power. I mean, I'm looking at from as an Indian viewpoint. How am I bothered about Pakistan?
Absolutely. When it's interesting when you look at this that it favors India either way,
Yeah,
and
it was.
their whole predominant, I would say, obsession with Kashmir and predominant this thing. And today there's a whole new
Yeah,
angle which is being brought out into that entire thing is going to damage them as it has been, sir.
yeah.
We see a similar sort of a issue on the other side, which is probably a very
China.
quiet power play.
Well, I don't visualize that. To be very honest, there's a very clear differentiation. If Xi Jinping comes, the current common prosperity, the going towards the command economy, the privatization will go even back. State sector will come up. They'll do all this nonsense. This right, and their economy is tanking. It will continue to tank. You know, the way I look at it, China's economy is going to go down and down and down slowly. It will not collapse. It'll keep going down. As it is, you know, there's this Rhodium group. They have said this year, for this financial year, the economy will grow max 2%.
Yeah.
Rhodium group. I think
Nomura
the
is
Jap
saying 2.8%.
Nomura is saying 2.8%, and someone else says 3.3%. So it's anything between 2 to 3%, which is nothing. Okay, and in Japan, in China, so far in their entire history, uh, if they have laid a target, they have never missed that target. And for the first time in their history, recent history, 30, 40 years, this 5.5% will not be reached. And today they have stopped talking of 5.5% in anything. So it's going to go down. So economically, it's going to go bad. And if you go back to 2008, when the banking crisis happened, Lehman Brothers, you know, Bernsteins, what's that? What of that? Beer, Berenstern, whatever. I'm forgetting that. Lehman Brothers is what I remember.
Yes.
It it took America at least 2 to 3 years to recover from that. What's happening in China is something akin to that. There's a banking stress. The real estate is in a mess. People are uh, not paying up mortgages. That's serious. People not paying up mortgages. The builders don't have money to complete their projects. The local governments are in pain. The central government has now said you issue bonds, collect money from the public, and finish the building. You finish the building, then the building gets finished, and the people get. And then where do you get the money to repay the bonds when they come for maturity? वो आगे भगवान जाने, जो भी उनका भगवान है. That's the attitude they've got into. They don't have a good exit thing for
Yeah.
their financial stress. They're only postponing the date. Okay. And the prices have gone down. So household health has gone, wealth has gone down. Right? If I have, I mean, let's all of us put ourselves in a Chinese shoe. I bought a house with the hope that say $100,000. I'm giving you a notional thing with the hope that it'll tomorrow become $200,000 and that I'll be richer, I'll get better rents, I'll get everything. My affordability is more and X, Y, Z. Okay, but today that house which I paid $100,000 is only $50,000. It's gone down. I already lost 50% of my savings, and if I'm nearing retirement, I don't have anything else. And houses are not being sold in China, so I can't cash it also. So if I can't cash, I don't have revenue, I don't have a pension, I don't have social security. What will I do? I will not spend. I will say, भाई मैं अपने घर में जाऊंगा 4 नूडल खाऊंगा
Mm.
डॉक्टर के
Absolutely.
पास जाके अपना इलाज करूंगा और बेटर रहूंगा मैं. So if there's no consumer spending, and consumer spending has taken a hit, so if there's no consumer spending, the economy will go down. So you don't have consumer spending. Your real estate, which is 30% of your economy, is going down. All your big tech, Alibaba, Didi, and Tencent, the revenues have fallen by 50%. So that is all broken. Education sector is completely broken there. So your private sector has broken. Your investment, which is 30% of your economy, is gone. Investment in related infrastructure, cement, steel, household items, furniture, a lot of small carpenters. I'm talking of masons. These chaps don't have work, so that's gone. So how will your economy go up? And this revival of this kind of a core economy will take at least 2 to 3 years
Minimum when you're going to
minimum.
war.
Okay, so they have to go only on exports.
Mm.
See, the components of their GDP, if you understand, mota mota, so they have to export. Export ke liye their COVID is hitting them. And the assessment for COVID is that for the next 2 to 3 years, COVID will continue.
This is what they're saying. Yes, sir.
No, no, not they saying. Everyone is saying. All of us are exposed to COVID. Okay, you have good vaccines. You have 3 vaccines, 4 vaccines, and today India said a sub below vaccine. You are happy. Even if it comes, it will not. Nothing will happen. In any case, you're not bothered. Okay, we. I mean, India is like that, and so are many other countries. We've learned to live with this COVID. Not China. There's vaccine hesitancy. Their vaccines are not good. And again, none of what I'm saying is my imagination. It is not from Western press. This is from Chinese media.
And yes.
That's the fundamental. So their factories are not in production, and there's another funny thing which is happening in China, which kills their factories and production even more. Today, one area is under lockdown. Tomorrow, another area is under lockdown. If suppose in this area some part is being made, which has to go to the next area, and that complete kit or assembly has to be done in the next area. When this area was down, that part was not made. When this area is up, that part is ready. It doesn't go. It goes to the other area which is under lockdown. So it's a double whammy.
Supply chain goes.
Supply chain goes absolute, and this is again not what I said. That's what Chinese media talks of. Wherever there's an English thing, you come. Otherwise, वो उनका vertical लिखा ही चलता रहता है. Hieroglyphics. So with their economy revival will take time, long. Until then, they have to go for exports. Now, if you go and do what's that blockade of Taiwan, I'll fire missiles in Taiwan. Their economy will go even for worse. So their economy is in a bad shape. Now let's get back to leadership. If Xi Jinping is the leader, he's not going to change track. He's already got made plans for more infrastructure, more bullet trains, more canals, more this, more roads, more none this thing.
More common
And
prosperity.
common prosperity. So that's his mantra. He's a hardcore communist of the Mao type. So he will take that economy that side. So the economy will not grow under Xi Jinping. That's the first thing if he becomes a leader. So if it doesn't grow under Xi Jinping, he'll be troublesome. Like whatever he's doing with Taiwan, whatever he's doing with India, whatever you'll see Yuan Wang 5, 6, 7 coming to Hambantota, all that nonsense will go on. So you're going to have a China which is not prosperous anymore. It might be having the second biggest economy, but an ailing economy and a troublesome military. That military, whatever they've invested in the military, if they are 2 aircraft or 3 aircraft carriers, they'll come out. They're already in the process. But that's also for a couple of years. And then you have to think the underlying factor of aging. Aging is happening. Births are lesser. If an old man, I don't want to eat ice cream. I don't want. I mean, I'm putting myself in their shoes. What do I want? I want my medicine. Yeah, in my age, I want to eat less. Carbohydrate come, sugar come, diabetes के लिए कम, BP के लिए. This the common thing for all old age people.
Yeah.
Something or the other happens. Okay, so I'm not interested in going and wearing new pants and suits and going by first class. All those fancy things is out. So there is a genuine problem in China. Now, if Xi Jinping comes, this problem is not going to increase. Okay, so that means he'll be troublesome. He will then try to even more go after Taiwan. He will go even more, coercing people. He will try something against India. So we have to be careful.
Mm.
China will keep going down, declining slowly. It's going to be a slow decline. Okay. If I put it in my words, they're going to burn from both ends. Okay, slowly. But they'll be troublesome. And the next 3-4 years, it's better if India watches out. Because Xi Jinping will have nothing to show and there'll be chaos. To divert that chaos, he will have to concentrate outside. Okay. So that is Xi Jinping. Let's say he doesn't make it, or he's a lame duck president. Okay. And Li Keqiang or whoever comes up. Let's assume Li Keqiang comes up. He's already gone. Oh, Denke area mein gaya. He's, his story will be different straight away. He will try to undo common prosperity. Hope, I mean, I'm looking at it or whatever. Okay. For all that, in this बिदा है, they might have said, यार इसको आगे करो और थोड़ा pull back the economy. That means you have to mend fences with the world. Then it's about turn.
U-turn, complete U-turn.
Complete U-turn. They'll be forced to do that U-turn.
Yeah.
Okay. Today, we had this discussion in the CASA forum. In fact, I would advise all viewers, I'll put it out on my gunner shot also. Have a look at it, right? It's a long, webinar, but I think it's a high-class webinar because the kind of minds who have applied themselves on various issues in that webinar was classic. It was one of the best webinars I attended, and I was lucky enough to conduct it. I was moderating it. I'm being very serious now. And what came out is that China cannot dream of capturing Taiwan for various factors. I would suggest you read those if you are really interested in China, watch that webinar. I'll put it out in my gunner shot in a couple of hours or maybe tomorrow early morning. Okay, and we'll put this out also together. And tomorrow, in Sunday Guardian, there's going to be an article which I'll put that out also. It's a holistic article on China. You read all that and take your call. After it's up to you to think whether I'm talking sense or nonsense, and then we can, next live discussion, we can discuss this also. You can question me on that. So it's going to be a different story altogether if Li Keqiang comes in. Then you're going to see normalization, you're going to see this. But that doesn't mean the economy will go up in a hurry.
Yeah. Trust has to be built up.
Yeah,
Supply
trust has
chains
to
have
be built up.
up.
Yeah, no one is going to, give any concession to China, right? No one is going to give any concession to China unless they undo or reset button. So if they have to do a reset button, then a whole lot of their policy change has to be done. So this is where things are. Okay, so if this is the fundamental, I'm open now to questions. We can, I think, unless you have questions, Adi.
I think this one, I was discussing you this offline. Somebody just put this before the session even started. Seems like this has a double meaning, does it?
Yeah, it does.
I'd like to ask you this.
No. In both cases, there's a double meaning in it. The options. We are discussing options
One
and the
thing that is coming out
possibilities.
with what you're saying is that the leadership of these two countries, which are our neighbors, are harmful for their own countries today.
Today, yes, I think as far as I'm concerned, if we can take care of our security and tighten our LAC, we have the best leadership going in China and the best leadership going in Pakistan as far as I'm concerned. I'll not bother about them, honest. But I will take care of my security. That is
Hmm.
something which is because what happens is in such leaders, the irrationality factor comes in, kicks in very fast. A weak leader becomes irrational, right?
That's
If
true.
a chap has to produce results and hold on to power, he becomes irrational. So if I can take care of the irrationality factor, I'm okay.
Interesting. They are appealing to different constituencies. I think he's talking
Yeah,
about
I
Lee
agree,
Kuan Yew and
Mandar. Right,
Jinping.
Mandar, I totally agree with you. They have different constituencies, they have different issues, but the watchword here, what you have said, is more important to me. They're appealing to their constituencies.
For
It's
support.
an inward-looking China and an inward-looking Pakistan.
I think if Taiwan wouldn't have come, these guys would have been further inward looking. Right now, they are probably forced to look outside.
No, I have a different view, Adi, because if Taiwan
Hmm.
had not popped up the way it is, okay, they might have still been showing eyes.
Some leverage they would have had. Hmm.
They
Fair enough.
would have had. Okay.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Venki says Pakistan political situation and its elements has actually hit a Nash equilibrium.
Yeah, I agree. Whatever equilibrium they are, they will, I mean, it is, they are in that bottomless pit.
Harsh says, however, some smaller parties in Pakistan looking at the neutrals. Now, that is an
No,
interesting
they're
question.
very clear. No, look, every party will look at neutrals as if they're God. Only thing is, except Imran Khan, everyone else is keeping quiet and they want the neutrals behind them. Even Imran Khan wants, but Imran Khan is pressurizing the neutrals.
I don't think anybody's written this question, but I'm going to ask you as a viewer myself. What do the neutrals want?
They don't know who's the neutral, who's the head of the neutral. That fellow is going to change. So whoever the new neutral is will decide.
Is
Look, it doesn't matter who comes. Look at it. Look at this. There is a split within Pakistan army also. Okay, we don't know who is the new chief. The choices are he could be someone who's pro PTI or propped up by PTI. It could be someone who's propped up by PML PPP. Okay, so whoever comes up, he will have first a divided lot within. This is unprecedented in the army, in the Pakistan army. So they're going to have a problem. If they're going to have a problem, all the best. It suits me.
a lot was spoken about Faiz Hamid's posting.
Look, I will not like to look into all this nonsense. Let them. He can, from my side, he can be posted to Afghanistan. From my
He
side, he can
probably
go
is.
to do what he wants. But the fact is, he's in the run, and PTI is backing him. He's a core commander. Whether he's a one core or the other core, it doesn't matter.
That's true.
Okay, you are
That's true.
looking at it. This thing, he's been. I think he's been put in the core at Bawalpur. That's
Bawalpur.
looking after Punjab. Oh, it's important constituency. Don't these things are
No, there's
we
no write-off. There are two connotations to it. I mean, it's
no. I look. I agree with you. You can keep splitting here, but
hmm,
it doesn't matter sausage.
absolutely. That's what is the bottom line because both of these countries are on a rail, and that's what we're trying to bring about with this
Yeah, as
subject.
simple as that. Yeah.
They're going to be rolling in their own misery, if I may say that.
Hmm.
But the advantage India will, with trouble on all our borders, will inevitably drain India's energy to. into unproductive response and will drag us our own focus on growth in high science and engineering.
Look, let's put it this way. There is some sense in what Saurabh is saying, but this gives you an opportunity. This gives you an opportunity to strengthen your system at peace.
Correct.
Okay, which I've been saying. Inward looking Pakistan and inward looking China gives you great leeway to progress, provided you can. I'm giving you a watchword. I'm not talking of science and technology, economy, civil infrastructure, airports, trains, Sagar, all that. I'm not into productivity, semiconductors coming, all this can happen, will happen, should happen, no doubt. But will our armed forces be able to get their act together along with the MOD and modernize so that when this period of 3 to 4 years finishes, um, you're on top, or you're going to keep wrangling?
Mm.
That's the challenge.
That's the challenge. I think, yeah, that's a very important point. This is an opportunity window, and then we need to kind of pick it up.
Yeah.
What are the long-term options of Pakistan to recover itself? That's a good question, I must say.
Yeah, it can sell itself off. Pakistan can sell itself off.
You also say so. Pakistan's Ghazwa-e-Kabul is trying.
Look. Let's be very clear. There's no Pakistan is really in a tight situation. It will take a generation for Pakistan to come out. They have to re-educate themselves. They have to rebuild trust. Without trust, no Pakistani is accepted anywhere. Okay, they are not fit for anything but menial jobs wherever you
Hmm.
go.
Hmm.
So it will take a generation for Pakistan to come out, provided they do reforms, and they have to do fundamental reforms. I mean, you have to read this gentleman Pervez Hoodboy to understand the problems on education they're facing, the problems they're facing with their youth. Okay, there's no science. That science is dictated by Islam, right? So if you are going to start your education, I mean, there's nothing wrong with learning Islam. It's good. After all, you have to learn your religion. If you are Pakistani and you're a Muslim, you must learn your religion. I'm not saying on that there is no two ways about it. But if you or religion is the fundamental of science, okay, and I'll give you an example. We'll say, look, we all know during Mahabharata and Ramayana times, people flew and all that. Now you say because I was, because Ravana came from Lanka and some aircraft and went back, took Sita back. I know everything about aerodynamics, and all my aerodynamics and aerospace technology will come from Mahabharata. That is, you can get ideas, you can get driven by the thoughts, all that, the good points about Mahabharata, but not science. There might be science, we don't know. We don't know how to decipher it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a
Okay,
lot more than we know about, but the little
we don't know how
interpretation
to. We
is
don't know.
the
So ultimately, what then? Then you're driven by some faith.
big point.
Okay,
And it's also the interpretation of some idiot who's roaming around with his
they
own.
are totally someone he doesn't know what's written, and he's got his own
Exactly.
idea,
Very big point.
and this is multiplied n number of times in Pakistan. So how will they progress? That's the question. The fundamental thing is education. Okay, education,
I mean,
right?
economy and all that stuff is still recoverable. There's
Yeah,
a
you
lot that.
need education for economy to revive.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if I'm uneducated, what will I do? You think I'll sit in front of a TV? I'll only be cleaning the road. As simple as that. So which they don't have. Yeah. Next question. Yeah.
Saurabh, I think, is quite concerned about this, and he says, but Pakistan and China's misery would and should not make us take our eyes off our progress because we need to compete with the world and not South Asia.
Saurabh,
Absolutely.
I could not agree with you more. So our policies should be in this window of opportunity. Do your progress. Have focus. Look at strategic autonomy. What are the drivers of the strategic autonomy? How are you going to use this time to become at least a regional power? Let's not become world power and try next will be a superpower. That kind we should not think of. Let's have modest goals. India is a tortoise. I'm very happy to be a tortoise. Let me keep progressing inch by inch, inch by inch, inch by inch, and we'll be there. Okay. Let's capitalize on the gains we have. We shouldn't lose that.
Yeah.
Another small thing, but I wouldn't say small thing, it's a big thing, but we should take heed. What's happening in France? What's happening in Germany? Rivers are drying up. Europe, forests are on fire. What's happening in China? Yangtze is flowing in 3 or 4 channels with no water. Okay. Uh, Temperatures have touched 104 degrees Fahrenheit. I mean, it's not much. Delhi touches more. When Delhi goes to 44, 45, it's more than that. But not for China. These are all temperate areas.
High
Okay.
in the
Yeah, they don't have. There's this thing. They don't have electricity. The factories have shut down. But 2 weeks before the factory shut down, all air conditioning and everything got shut down in China. And now, if the factories revive, only the factories will revive. Only other than that, hospitals will get electricity, and the rest of the country or rest of the region will continue to suffer.
6 days is a
So,
long time.
yeah. So, climate change is going to hit you next. So, what are you doing about it?
Exactly.
We also have a problem of water. Are you doing something? Are you re-looking at the river linking scheme? Are you looking at regenerating groundwater? Are you looking at doing something positive? This is the time we have. Okay, this season you've seen the monsoon has been absolutely haywire.
Hmm.
Okay, uh, the the predictability of monsoons or any weather event will go haywire during this climate change. That's what as the global warming progresses. So when you have all this, prepare for that. When you have this time, prepare for it. Right? That's my proposition. I agree with what Saurabh said. Let's take on the next question.
So, okay, sorry,
Yeah.
I'm just clicked on the same one. Yeah. Uh, while General Bajwa is stealing all the thunder, Pakistan economy in brackets, that's interesting, I must say. Uh, I feel sad for the Air Force and the Navy chiefs. So any thought for this asymmetry within the services of
This
Pakistan?
is historic.
Mm.
This is historic. Okay. We all know that the chief of army staff of Pakistan is the uncrowned king of Pakistan. And I understand what he's talking about economy. He'll get 2, 3 flats in London, 1 or 2 flats in Dubai. वो minimum common minimum program होगा chiefs का. So and the naval chief and the air force chief will get 1 house or 2 houses somewhere in end of story. So that's their headache. Leave it. Let them live the way they want.
IKEA panic. I think this is in red.
Yeah, that's happened in China when there was one someone went there who had got infected or something like that, and the whole thing. This will happen
Yeah.
in China. This will keep happening. It could be IKEA today, so could be something else tomorrow.
But before I move forward, I'd like to ask you this. One thing that we are seeing in China is a certain amount of resistance building up with regards to zero COVID. We had Chinese kind of complying to this till now. Now they're trying to break the doors, run away, and all this stuff is happening.
See, it'll happen because uh, all these things are good till the going is good. The
Yeah.
going is bad for China. These are the indicators that things are not good in China. Okay, these are the indicators that things are not. See, all of us for the past 8, 9 years, we've been listening to this great narrative about China that by 2049 they'll become a superpower, this, that, and all that. They have not changed the dates. Tell me one nation in history which has achieved that. by time. Okay, you think these fellows will achieve it the way they're going? Okay, so let's not. Uh, the moment you start defying nature, and these chaps have been defying nature, they're going to bite. Mother Nature will have the last laugh. I might be sounding philosophical. I'm not sounding philosophical.
But in long term, that's how it works. Huh? Karma is
Yeah.
karma at the end of it.
Okay.
You may have to
I
send
remember
your.
long back. No, I remember long back. We were we had to put camp somewhere. We'd gone into the hills and put camp somewhere. So there was this JCO who said, "Sir, we want to, we have to put our this thing there. Uh, pitch up tents. Where should we pitch up?" I said, "Look, pitch your tents on a slope." He said, "Sir, why slope?" I said, "Look, if it rains in the hills, right? If and you get caught in the rain, it will go down the slope. If you're on a flat thing in a hill, you will be flooded." So, and I had some other work, and I was running around. And all that. So this JCO thought, "Yeah, this Captain Saab is a fool. He doesn't know. He's a young chap. जोश है इसमें ज्यादा." So he said, "इसका टेंट जो है ना वो ढलान में डाल दो, टेढ़ा सोता रहेगा, हम ना we'll put it in." So that night it rained and these chaps were in flood. Half that bloody troop of were sitting in my tent. I mean, one didn't mind, and all my Johnnies were cursing that JCO. Then I told him, "Look, forget it. These things happen." So it's like that. You can't define nature. You have to be with nature. Yep.
Chinese are going totally against it. China and Pakistan both have one thing in common. That is no significant allies other than each other. They're very good at making enemies of countries whose money built their economy self-goal. Well,
Yeah, I
no,
agree, Sachin, completely. I agree with you completely. They have this habit of not being in alliance with anyone except themselves. I mean, politics and everything make strange bedfellows, but that's how Pakistan and China are. Okay. China was helped by US, they kicked the US. Pakistan was helped by the US, they kicked the US. Okay. I mean, it's like that. So let's see where things go. And
it's
their common friends are who? North Korea. And Russia is a very transactional friend and
I was just about
transitional
to say, a
friend.
lot of people believe that Russia and China are very close to each other, but
They're not close at all.
it's a
They're
transactional.
completely. And why do you think Russia has still not left India? That's a counterweight. It's telling China we cannot be 100% friends. We'll have all no bars, all this talk will be there, but actually things will not be that way.
One thing people need to understand about this whole triangle, so if I may, and just take a moment, that India is the only country where Russia has had bilateral visits.
Yeah,
You know, even China, they've not gone, and nobody from
yeah.
China has gone to Russia. Mr. Ajit Doval is there in Russia right now, and Sergei Lavrov was
See,
in India.
there is a different axis on which the Russia India relationship operates.
True, true.
Okay, and this is built over a period of time. Russia China is a recent phenomenon. It's as much as about 8 9 years old. The warming of their relationship. Okay, so it has not stood. It is not stress tested. Today, it is mutual convenience. They have to get together. Otherwise, USA will have them in meal in a piecemeal. Already, see, everyone says that Russia won over Ukraine. It'll take over Ukraine and all that. But you see, that's not happening. Slowly, Russia is getting into a hybrid situation. They're going to start facing insurgency.
Drone attacks have started in Crimea
Have
already.
started. So things, it's not so simple, right? Oh, now the general view today we had in that webinar was uh, in by Nancy Pelosi going to Taiwan, China has been drawn out.
Nancy Pelosi. That name is going to
And
go down in history,
yeah,
sir.
and for all you know, she's been sent there purposefully.
You never know.
She, she's the smokescreen which has gone ahead. And it has tickled the dragon. The dragon has come out, and one has seen that it's a toothless dragon. Period. Okay, so let's not this thing, and both are in some pain. Russia and China. Okay, Russia is probably today better off than China.
Yeah, of course. They played the
Yeah,
cards well. There's no
well,
question. China has
there's no
not.
doubt. So, but they're in problems. This steps are in problems. Where is USA sitting? Happy.
With Joe Biden, sir.
Oh, whoever it is. Every fellow thinks he's a fool, but he's 84 years old. He's got that experience or whatever.
I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, with all
We
respect
don't,
to
we
the
don't know
older
what
generation,
they
a bunch.
see. Let's not get carried away by what appears in the newspapers. Long
Newspapers.
back, when I was a colonel, I was doing a course, and I remember there's a retired general of that vintage. I'm talking of 15 years back. Yeah, 15 years back. He said, you have to start looking, understand the news behind the news. So if you go by what comes out by what journalists write, some journalists are good, but the majority of the journalists today will write about USA, tomorrow will write about Brinjal, Bengal. So he's got no this thing. For him, he'll just treat with facts and do some fast thinking and put something out. That's not analysis. If you are looking at seeing the real meaning of how things are panning out, look beyond that. Okay.
Repeat what General Shankar said in last session. I pray to God Almighty to
I agree with you, Venki, completely.
Imran and Xi Jinping the
Yeah,
same for some
I
time.
agree with you completely. I hope they continue. Yeah.
Z has an aggressive posture. Why Modi cannot reply befittingly?
I hope Mr. Modi doesn't do anything like that. We
Yeah,
should not do whatever Xi Jinping has done. Take a step back. Act, don't react.
it's not the right time to fight a war right now.
We should not fight wars. Wars are not meant to be fought. The best war is the war which you never fought.
Never fought. Anyways, so we'll still look at a question in that aspect. So if India has to take Gilgit Shaskam and Muzaffarabad, what does it need to be in such a position?
See, the
So if
first
I
thing,
may
if you
just add, General Shankar has, and in this particular forum has been saying this, and we've mentioned this, we've discussed this multiple times, that a center point of gravity between China, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Central Asia, and all this big khichdi is Gilgit Baltistan.
you have to get hold of Gilgit Baltistan, but will you get hold of it militarily? That's the worst thing you can do. You can't. Let's be very clear. So you have to get it out in a hybrid manner. Are you prepared to fight a hybrid war? You're not. Are you prepared to do a political outreach to them? You're not. Are you? You have to get to the people. And there's a fundamental thing. Let's be very clear. If you want, when you want to get the rest of your POK back, I mean, this is as fundamental it is. Are you prepared to accept 4 million more Muslims into your population? If you cannot, don't talk.
And I mean, these are not normal guys, these are hardcore,
I
you know,
wouldn't say they're hardcore. Let's say let's give them the best. They're not hardcore X Y Z.
I don't know.
But you still have to be prepared to add 4 million Muslims out, and you have it is. Do our politicians at the end want to do that?
Big question.
It is nice
And
to be.
what it
I'm not
is,
saying that we should or not.
hmm,
First, you should be prepared to do that.
is there a readiness? Have you sorted yourself
Yeah, is
out?
there a readiness? If I'm the politician, I will do it because my thinking is different. I'm from the army. Okay, it doesn't matter. Religion doesn't matter to me. Every religion is good religion for me. So
No, there are.
I'm prepared. But others, will they accept it? I mean, across the length and breadth of the country, there will be a debate. After all, we are in a democracy. So all these things put together, we shouldn't think of Gilgit Baltistan or POK unless we are politically clear-headed as to what we want to do. The day we are politically clear-headed, just political outreach, get a ethnic outreach, get a religious outreach. You have to play that gray zone war. You have to play that hybrid story. Are we prepared to do it?
10 years down the line, India will overcome China in defense and technology.
I don't know. 10 years is not much.
10 years is a bit short for that. I think
I
25
don't
years,
know.
as Minister
I
has
don't
said,
know.
is.
I mean, let me vary with this thing.
Hmm.
Okay, I'll put it in a different manner. 10 years down the line, I don't know where China will be. Would we look
Yeah,
10 years down the line, China will be an aged country. It will have 25 to 30% people who
population.
are aged. Will such a country fight a war? It won't. Their population will come down. There will be no births. This three-child policy and all is not working.
They'll
Even
be
if it
probably
works,
going.
it's after 20. Even if a child is born today, it will take 20 years to reach this thing. Oh, Chinese don't become, fighters within 2 days. You still have to go through the 9-month period for a birth and 20-year period for aging into a productive male or a female. So that is far away. Okay. So let's not talk of technology, war, and all that. Let's see whether what will be the state of the country 10 years ahead. And from there, you derive everything.
So, but I think the strategic competition is going to be there for times to come.
Again, no guesses.
Hmm.
Look, whoever thought 2 years back that we'll be in this situation,
Yeah, I think we went into the pandemic thinking, yeah, pandemic, and nobody thought China
before,
would mangle.
look, let me put it this way. Before the pandemic, when I used to write about China, I used to, some few chaps will read about it and end of story. Today, a lot of people read about China
Yeah,
because they're interested because of whatever has happened. Today, more people read because China is suffering. They want to understand what's happening in China. They want to understand what's happening in India. Awareness has increased because you are in competition with each other. Okay, so these things will go up, right? And tomorrow, what will happen? We don't know. Climate will change will hit you, aging will hit you or them, whoever. If you might get a good government, you might get a khichdi government. That's our history. Don't forget. We've had intermittent periods where khichdi's have come up. Seemingly strong governments have gone. Democracy है भाई.
कुछ भी हो सकता है.
कुछ भी हो सकता है. So, I mean, so no leader is permanent. Okay. So the point is that we don't know to 10 years hence whether we will be in strategic competition or partners, we don't know.
Absolutely. What are the chances of General Bajwa getting another extension?
I don't think he will because I think he has indicated that he won't go in for a
Yeah.
thing unless it's forced on him. If they don't have a choice, they'll say, please continue. They might say you continue for a year or two till the election happens and all, and then you quit.
Stabilization,
Yeah,
normalization.
stabilize it. Yeah, that could happen.
Pakistan has so many Asians that they have to do,
Yeah,
stabilization.
they have, yeah. Let's put it, they have a lot of instability to stabilize. So let's all the best to them.
Pakistan might have a Taliban-like regime in the future with elites having to run foreign lands. I think it's already started.
I, I don't know again. Don't. Let's not go into that extreme. Uh, Pakistan has a this innate ability to right itself. You have to
Yeah.
understand that don't the elites are not so great. But they have a thinking lot in between. who are well read, who are very intelligent, who know how to do things. It's not when if you watch their news, you watch their read their articles, they
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
a lot of sense.
That's a
So
generation, sir. But
uh,
I actually wanted to bring this comment in, which tells you something about. It says, just looking at the Pakistani people's conversation and news on YouTube, I can summarize the amount of radicalization in the society that has gone to the stratosphere.
I
How would
agree
you
with it. I
think
agree with this. I no whatever he's saying, I agree with it. There's the country is radicalized,
yeah,
but will radicals rule the country is a different story. You see, you have to understand the Pakistani army is not radicalized the way you think they are. The Pakistani army is very radicalized if they have to deal with India. Otherwise, no. They want to be in power and they want to be in comfort. They want to drink whiskey. The armed Pakistani army officer loves to have scotch.
yeah, whiskey generals, sir.
हाँ वो ठीक है. I've had an experience. I'll leave it at that with the Pakistani. But sir, Chinese white papers are useless. It's Chinese white papers give their side of the story,
So,
um, right? Their kahani. Again, when you see their white paper, you read between the lines. There's a lot left. A lot of your imagination you have to put to use to get to what they are saying and
Abhishek,
get to
I'm
the
really
truth.
glad people have started reading Chinese white papers and stuff like that. As sir was
You
saying
must
till
read
about
it. Look,
nobody actually.
you must read their white papers because it gives you a lot of information.
Yeah,
When you start reading the white papers, you come to know what their thinking is.
absolutely. Saurabh says there would be a time where India would have to subsume for its own security Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh and Nepal, and because none of these are survivable nations on their own.
I wouldn't like to subsume anyone. Let them be where they are. I'm not ready for it,
We
and we
actually
should never be
discussed this
ready
in
for it.
our last week's live.
Why should I take on problems? Why should I take on 220 million people, or 230 million, or 240 million, or 300 million 10 years down the line? Right? That is, I. Why should I add one fourth of my population who have nothing, who can't be fed, who are useless, they're radicalized, and who are illiterate? Wait, are you prepared to pay taxes for them?
Nope. I'm openly saying no.
That,
Nope. Not at all.
that yeah,
There are lots of people in India I would want to pay taxes for, but that's a different story altogether.
yeah.
Let's move on. People in India, Indian media think that China and Russia are good
No,
friends.
China and Russia have never been good friends. In fact, they've been opposites.
And
Okay, it's
another
only
comment
off late. Yeah, Russia has never supported China openly. Neither has China supported Russia anywhere. They are
correct.
transactional.
General, what's your comment on the Western deep state towards India? This is obviously because of the Washington Post and all that stuff, which keeps
Hey, you
getting.
watch. Look, US is a different kettle of fish. What the Washington Post says, what New York Times says, is not what the government does.
I'd
And the
like to ask
government,
you, theory, sir, if you don't mind. Sorry, Jaishankar also mentioned about lobbies and vested interests, and
yeah, they
Dr.
have.
Jaishankar was very clear about it. So, how do you kind of see?
They have lobbies, they have vested interests. They look, lobbying is legal in USA, so there's nothing to this thing. But ultimately, if you see, they have to act in their self-interest. See, that way you can say we have a deep state. Our deep state looks after our interests. Every country has a deep state if you look at it. So I won't get perturbed about it. Ultimately, we have to look after our interests.
Bottom line, sir. Thank you, Mr. Venki, for this. General sir, with the current situation of unrest in Pakistan intensifying, worsening further, do you foresee a situation of Pakistan getting desperate and trying to seek refuge
They
alongside the
might,
Indian?
they might. You might have a situation, but at this point of time, I don't foresee it immediately.
Hmm.
Maybe 5 6 months down the line, things if things go bad, which they will, we might see a situation like that. But generally, except the poorest of Pakistanis, no one will come towards India.
Now, here is someone who writes very, intelligent and very nice comments on my channel. I'd like to thank you for it. Should US be sitting happy? And sir, trust me, most of our videos you'll find him writing very incisive comments. As they trash the global trust in the US dollar and dive their own closet allies into unpalatable geopolitical situation, thinking a few decades down the line here.
Yeah, look, one thing about USA, at the core, it is their interest and their self-interest which is supreme, and they'll sacrifice anyone for it, including the allies. And thank God we are not an ally of USA. And thank God we are only a partner. And our partnership is issue based. That we have said so. Okay. So what the US does with its allies, let them do. Okay. Let them do. And I don't think they'll ever trash the dollar. Their strength is the dollar, and they have demonstrated it in the past 6 7 weeks.
Yeah, they're gonna keep it together
They'll
as
keep it
hard as
together.
possible.
They will not let it go.
It'll probably get a little weakened, but they won't let it go.
They'll not let it go, and that's how they're able to nudge out China.
True, true. There is also a serious sex ratio problem in
Yes,
China
I
due to
agree.
sex proportion.
I agree completely with Bharat. Uh, the gender discrimination is huge in China. Female infanticide is huge, and that is why Pakistanis have to send girls, brides to Pakistan, China. It's a fact. Okay, one of the few things Pakistan exports to China is brides and donkeys. Okay, and so that they have a problem. China has a huge democrat. This thing. Yeah, I agree with you. This is a nice one. Okay.
But yeah, what you're saying is right. So there is a export for say for the lack of a better words. So there's reports about Indian government wanting to pull back the army from the LAC and hand it over to the
Like
front
I
line.
mean, let's. This is too early. This is someone who's. It might be kite flying for all you know.
You never know, sir. Again,
Yeah.
guys, I think what General Shankar also mentioned this earlier. When you get a news, try and verify it because a lot of people are just shooting arrows in the dark to create narratives,
Look, I,
perceptions.
it's like this. I say something in this news program, and if there's a journalist listening, he'll take whatever I have said and put tomorrow. He'll put it out in a news clip somewhere, and that becomes God's gospel. That becomes
As per
policy.
as per Al
So
Jazeera,
lot of this barroom chats, corner talk becomes news.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
unless certain things come out from the government or reputed news channels come, or it comes in 5 6 news channels and it gets analyzed, let's not believe it.
Or Dev Talks.
Or wherever. Yeah, I agree with you. I look, Adi and I are very clear. We're not going to put out any speculation.
Never.
We'll give out our analysis. You take it for what it's good. But it's where there's news, it is news. Where it's not news, it's not news. It's analysis.
And trust me, guys, about China, I think me and General Shankar almost have a daily conversation where we cross. There are thoughts. We keep flying around articles all around the place. Sir is obviously reading much more than I am, but there's a lot of discussion before we come out and say something like this. So it's not we seem to have fun, but there's a lot of research that has gone inside what Sir is saying and in terms of how he's putting at it. So last few months, minded China knows it's best time to attack Taiwan as USA is strategically involved in Ukraine. They will get dual
I
pressure on Taiwan.
no. Look, don't get carried away by all this. Like I told you, wait. Just read. If you have this time, go through that thing which I'm going to put out tonight or tomorrow, the webinar. You'll understand because look, why I'm asking you guys to do it is that uh, webinar had some of the best guys I've come across. General Prakash Menon, then Admiral Chopra. Uh, General Prakash Menon was the boss of NDC. He was my commandant when I was doing the course. Very senior man. Then Admiral Chopra was the CNC of the Eastern Command and the Western Command. right? And he's very well qualified. And this guy, Professor Eugen Ko from Korea, from the Sun Yat-sen University, and what he said and the way he put across things and what we could, share thoughts. I don't think China can do anything. So, in fact, today I would suggest you go through that. You spend. It's a long one. It took us 1.5 hours. A lot of questions. I had to stretch my imagination to put those questions across. Difficult questions, difficult answers. It'll really give. It's an eye opener as far as China is concerned. Okay. Yeah.
Right. Sir, quick replies. Do you think CPEC will be the main reason for the collapse of
Yes,
Pakistani economy?
Pakistanis have a lot of reasons to collapse. CPC is just the pudding in their five-course meals. Yeah.
Ranjit says, in the past 2 years, our government has been actually hit by China's economic rise. Uh, we have no option but to grow for our security, and the government has more reason than ever to work towards that.
Look, we have not been hit by China's economic rise. They have risen. They have not hit us. We have held our own, and today we are the fastest rising economy. Okay,
Faster
so
than
let's not.
twice the size of China, as a matter of fact.
There is this problem which all of us have. The Chinese narrative is something we like to believe. As a result, we become self-defeating. We don't have faith in our own system.
Absolutely. Part of the information warfare, sir.
Look, yeah, you're an Indian, I'm an Indian. Both of us work hard. We are contributing to our economy. Our economy will grow. Don't worry.
NATO becoming NOTA.
No, but I don't think so. NATO has still got value.
Still got a lot of force, sir. Which global levers under severe demographic and economic climate stress, which are of prolonged nature and dollar on free float, it seems all made up and thin air with several global pain for all. Yeah, it's a bad
We'll
time.
see. Look, the next 3 to 4 years will be tough for all of us. I must put it across because there's a lot of transition happening. Yeah, no, in the past 2 years, if you see, you've gone through the virus, then you've gone through the Ukraine war, now you've gone through the Taiwan crisis. In between, global inflation has gone up. Then you countries are going into default and a lot of problems. This Belt and Road Initiative, which promised a lot to poorer countries, have failed. As a result, they are up in arms. Governments are changing, right? And there's a lot of instability in the world because nothing is much happening in India and you're happy about it, we are happy. Otherwise, if you go outside, I suppose things are bad. So this is a very great transitionary period in this century, the next 3 to 4 years. Uh, so I wouldn't like to make any, what shall I say, prognosis on the economics of the world in the next 3 to 4 years. And look, and climate change has started hitting us a little earlier than what we expected. Climate change would happen. After all, the globe has been warming over the millions of years it is. From the ice age, we've come to this age. It's only that we are hastening the whole thing in a lifetime. We are not probably if this had happened to the next generation would have had time to adjust to this change and morph into a different way of living. Like we are living far different from what people or ancestors lived. Okay, so that time is we are coping with this in a fast forward mode. I never thought in my lifetime I'll see climate change the way it has happened. And in your times, who are younger and from my maybe the next generation, you'll have to cope with it very fast. So in this kind of a transition, till you go to some stabilization, okay, or a fast change which is stable, the rate of change is predictable. Okay, you can't make all these assumptions. Go with the flow. Use your fundas. Get to the thing, and be cool and don't get excited.
So, and we get the last comment in for the day. CCP will ban SCMP in India after watching this.
That's their choice.
So I thought we will end on a very, very nice
Yeah,
note. There are
look, I don't know whether they're going to ban me or not, or ban SCMP or not. But these days, I'm getting a lot of trolling from China. That chap keeps telling me, "Oh, well, you don't know what China is. You can't compete. You're a You know,
No, I had
you're a discredit to
I had
be a
I
general.
had a phishing scam, sir.
Huh?
I had
Yeah.
a phishing
So
scam. So
when I mean, you see, go to Gunner's shot and see the comments, especially on articles on China. Okay, they it's fun. I enjoy reading them because it tells me that we are hitting the truth. We are hitting their pain points. Okay, and we put the fingers where it matters on their nerves. Right? I don't respond to them. I don't even rebut what they say.
there's no
I
point.
no, you rebut through your next article because that's hitting them from some other direction. Because I'm opening up every day a new chapter for them to think.
You
Let them
remember,
know.
sir, we had done this COVID thing one time, and that video basically got shadow banned. I mean,
Yeah. So
I
all
had
these things
more
happen.
I had more dislikes on that video than in my
Yeah.
entire
So
channel. I think
I agree with you completely.
So that's there. Sir, thanks
Okay.
so much. This has been a wonderful session. There are a couple of questions more, but guys, hold
We'll
up.
we'll take it off next time. We'll take it
Let's
over
move
next time.
to the next
Okay.
time. I think it's a great subject. At the end of it, sir, won't you call both these guys India's best friends on a
Yes,
light note?
I think so. If there's a medal we can give them, we must give them.
India's two best friends, Xi Jinping
Yeah.
and Imran
And
slash Shahbaz, whoever it
Shabbat,
is,
whoever
or
it is.
even General Bajwa
Whoever.
for that. So,
Yeah, I
thanks so much,
agree.
sir. And guys, thank you so much for joining in. As usual, please, before you sign off, hit the like button. It really helps me reach a larger audience. Please do subscribe. For to those of you, I see some new names today. Please do subscribe into this channel. You can contribute towards my effort. Uh, there are UPI numbers, or you can just link it up with YouTube as well. And please stay tuned. There's going to be probably we'll try and do two lives in the next week so that we can interact with you more and take more questions to us.
You have to contribute to for Adi because unless you contribute to him, he can't grow. I mean, I don't take money, uh, right? Uh, if you want quality views from others who are better than me, I think Adi needs to spend more. So if you want me to continue free of cost, वो तो मिलेगा free of cost. Don't worry.
Better than you. So a lot of people, I think,
Oh,
will
there are,
start.
there are. There are. And one should never get fooled by oneself.
There
There
are,
are a lot of people who are better than me. Yeah.
but we provide a certain platform where we interact and we, bring about the reality of China, not that they're 10 feet tall. So on that note, sir, till next time for another subject. Stay tuned, guys, on Twitter so that we can communicate with you and let you know what the next subject and the next date is. Till then, Jai Hind, sir.
Jai Hind. Thank you. Good night. ठीक है